Hi everyone. First off, thank you for joining the Scrap Sisters and me to learn a little bit more about stamps. I chose the September stamps because I wanted to go outside my comfort level a little bit. And I don't use stamps a lot. I have a lot of them, but I don't use them. And I wanted to do a whole layout, trying to use as many techniques as I could. At the end of the video, I will show everything that I used and an additional marker technique on a stamp. Shows you how to get different colors on one stamp. Okay, so onto the layout. Normally I have a process that I go through. I have an idea, like I'm going to use a sketch, or I have a picture, or I have a theme. This time all I knew is that I wanted to use a circle like a wreath. Um, so I shopped my scrapbooking room and I found this Jen Hatfield stencil, and I started putting ink on that, which I'll go over, and then I also pulled some polka dotted paper, which you'll see a little bit. But I pulled my Tim Holtz oxides in fossilized amber, broken china, and picked raspberry, and I used the purple tape to adhere normal white cardstock to my craft mat because I'm not going to use any water, so I didn't need to gesso it or prep it or anything. And then I taped the stencil to the craft mat because I have a habit of moving it, and my stencil goes off center. So the oxides are a hybrid ink, which are mostly pigment, which is a slow dry ink, and a mixture of dry ink, which dries faster. So the pigment ink fills in better as it dries. As you can see as I'm doing this, they're not blending well. It's kind of splotchy, but um, as it dries, it will soften and blend together. You'll see as the video goes on. So I used to use the Tim Holtz blending tools with the pads that you put on, and I just recently bought these life-changing brushes, which I like a little better. It seems like I put more ink on them, but my hand doesn't cramp when you're doing such a big area such as this, and they seem to blend better, and they're easier to clean. So usually I put them on the pads on the bottom of my ink to keep them together. These, as you can see, I just clean with a baby wipe, and then I just put them back in my jar to dry, which that's what I'm doing off screen right there. Um, and then they're ready for the next time I use them. So here's my page, and you can see it's pretty splotchy, but as it goes on, it will dry. Here I'm using VersaFine ink to put some text in it. That's a Vicki Boutin stamp, and the VersaFine ink is a oil-based pigment ink, which is waterproof and great for stamping with small detail stamps or using with watercolor. As I put it on, you see I put some, I use it twice or three times to get a fading effect. Here's the paper that I purchased from Packetans. I'm using my Creative Memories cutters. I have it with purple tape down so it doesn't slip. And here I'm trying to find which way it looks the best with my stencil, which is still splotchy, by the way. And this is the white paper that I'm going to cut a ring out of for my wreath. And I think the next thing, I also, as you can see, I taped that down as well. And then the next thing we're going to go to is I'm going to be stamping regular white cardstock. Here I show you the stamps and the archival ink, which I got from Amazon. I will stamp that whole page with flowers and leaves, and then I will fussy cut them out. The regular paper, nothing special. This is my Long Fawn chamois that I highly recommend to clean your stamps instead of baby wipes. But if you don't have one, baby wipes works. The next is my finished product that I have to fussy cut. Next, I'm going to stamp my title, and I had some issue with this. So first I used my VersaFine on my title, and I stamped it on the Creative Memories cutter mat. Well, that had ridges in it, so it didn't stamp all the way onto my layout. So I did not re-ink, and I was like, oh, what do I do now? So I took the mat away, and I was cutting on the cart that I was using, which is planks, so that was not a smooth surface either. But I lined it up, and I was able to do that, and it stamped a little better, but not fully. So and then I remembered I had a craft foam mat that for stamping, I put that underneath there. I stamped it the third time. I was able to line it up. I never re-inked through the process, and the title came out perfect. layout, and I'm very excited how it turned out. I decided on the photo of a father-daughter dance. It was a luau dance that my husband and daughter went to for Girl Scouts. Um, I hope that I was able to bring enough information about inks and stamps to the YouTube hop. As I said, I picked stamps because I wanted to reach outside of my comfort zone, learn more about them myself, and I feel that I have learned more and will definitely use stamping more on my page. I hope that I have inspired you to reach outside your comfort zone and maybe try a few different techniques on stamping as well. And I'd like to thank the Scrappy Sisters for inviting us to share their YouTube hop. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to kindly go over the different products that I used, and just for people that haven't stamped and if they're curious, because in the video I kind of went through them fast. So thank you, and I hope you enjoyed my video. Bye-bye. Here are the products that I wanted to share, maybe with people that don't normally stamp. And if you have stamped, then you can just skip over this if you want. But here I'm showing you my purple tape that I used. I got it from Home Depot. My husband actually got it for me, and it's painter's tape, but when you pull it up, it doesn't rip your paper or stencil. This I got from a craft from Amazon when I bought my archival ink. It came with it for free. Same process. This is a double sided tape that I use when I do borders, and I put it around the paper and leave a little piece hanging out so then I can pull it down and my paper goes on a little straighter. This is my Tim Holtz craft mat that I used, and I recommend that if you're doing mixed media. It makes cleanup a lot easier. You don't get ink all over everything. This is my Jen Hatfield stamp, and I believe it was called Homemade. I got that from Tuesday Morning. Most of the stuff I did get from Tuesday Morning. They have good deals there. And that was the first time that I've used it. These are my life-changing brushes, which we talked about, that, you know, you can just clean with baby wipes. And then the oxides that I used, I'm showing you. As you can see, those little spots on there were the old pads that are on the bottom. And I keep them together with my daughter's hair ties. It's another reason I like the brushes. Here's my Versify. And then this is the Vicki Boutin stamp, and I just used that text, the one on the bottom there. And I use that to kind of put on my background to dull the oxide inks. And then I'm not sure what's up next. Oh, this is my Creative Memories. I do like Creative Memories tools. I do not like their papers or marking for stamping, but their tools are awesome. That was a large circle cutter. And then I'm getting my archival inks. So for this video, I wanted to play with stamps, so I did purchase these kits with the tins, and I really like the archival ink. I highly recommend them. And these are my cutter bees. I decided to fussy cut all of them instead of using the dies that came with the stamp. These are my Stampin' Up! Blocks. I like those because they have ridges to them, and they're easier to hold and control instead of moving them around on your layout. This is the Lawn Fawn Chamois versus the baby wipes. You can clean your stamps with baby wipes. I really liked the Lawn Fawn Chamois. This was the first time I used it, and it worked very well. So, and then your hands don't smell like baby wipes either. Here are the stamps that I used. I got these from, this is a Richard Garriday, I believe it is. I got it from Tuesday Morning. There was a die with that one, and this is Crafter's Companion, where you see you have the die there. But I just cut them out because I couldn't figure out how the one die went with the Richard Garriday, and then I started cutting, and then I just finished them all that way. And this is what I used for my title, Life is Beautiful, and that's by Kelly Creates. And then this, the scrolls were by Inka Dinka Doo. I got that one a long time ago. They probably don't even make it anymore. I don't even know where I got it from. And then this is the foam mat that I used finally to do my title. And it's a harder foam. You can press down on it. It's as you can see, it's thicker, but it's not too squishy. And I got that in the craft aisle at a craft store by the stamps. And then these are my pop-ups that I use to pop up my flowers. And then this is a Nuvo glitter pen, which is like a Wink of Stella, and I put that in the middle of my stamped flowers and to just give it a little sparkle. I think I'm going to go back and give it another coat, and it just adds that little extra touch. You probably couldn't have seen that on the YouTube video though. But that was all my supplies that I used. Here I want to show you an extra technique that I thought I was going to use. I'm coloring with Stampin' Up! Markers, a butterfly stamp with 3 different colors. I think I used the green for the legs and the antenna, the pink for the outside of the butterfly, and then the yellow for the inside. I think that's how I did it, not sure. But I'm going to pull that up to my mouth and I'm going to breathe on it, which re-inks, which makes the ink wet. If it takes a while for you to color your stamp, and then you can stamp that on paper, and then you have a tricolored stamp. And then I cut that out, and here I'm going to show you, I used it in my Delusions Mixed Media journal, which is a great way to try different things. Those pages are kind of pre-done, and then you add your mixed media and your stamping, talking about what's precious to me. There's a rub-on I used, and then there's my butterfly that I was able to put on there on pop-ups. And then I had a sample sheet of paper that I was using while I was doing this, and I made tags out of it, and then I'm just going to stamp on those, and I'm going to use those on other layouts. So thank you very much for watching my video, and I appreciate any feedback that you may have. Thank you. Bye-bye.